is a joke. Hollywood is a small community in Los Angeles, and people don't even know that sign that says Hollywood. Hollywood is a piece of wood, a stick that witches conjure with. Hollywood is a joke. Hollywood is a small community in Los Angeles, and people don't even know that sign that says Hollywood. Hollywood is a piece of wood, a stick that witches conjure with. They used to say in movies, let's make some magic.
Demond Wilson, widely recognized for his role as Lamont in the iconic TV series Sanford and Son. In this WWE TV Shorts throwback, he talks about ills of Hollywood.
Okay, there was a very talented brother who is deceased now, named Billy Preston.
Oh, man.
Lovely man, talented man. His mother played Sapphire on the Amos and Andy show.
Okay.
He was traveling with that show because Amos and Andy went on the road. And she gave Billy, at a young age, with all his talents, to Reverend James Cleveland, who was a known, whatever word, that turned Billy out. Hollywood is a joke. Hollywood is a small community in Los Angeles, and people don't even know that sign that says Hollywood. Hollywood is a piece of wood, a stick that witches conjure with. They used to say in movies, let's make some magic.
Demond Wilson, widely recognized for his role as Lamont in the iconic TV series Sanford and Son. In this WWE TV Shorts throwback, he talks about ills of Hollywood.
Okay, there was a very talented brother who is deceased now, named Billy Preston.
Oh, man.
Lovely man, talented man. His mother played Sapphire on the Amos and Andy show.
Okay.
He was traveling with that show because Amos and Andy went on the road. And she gave Billy, at a young age, with all his talents, to Reverend James Cleveland, who was a known, whatever word you want to put it, that turned Billy out.
Where you at, Rock? Where you at, Rock?
10 rock and roll, bro.
Welcome to the Rock Files. Are the Rock Files? Yeah, live and locked. This is how we rock. Live and locked. Welcome to the Rock. Live and locked. Live is how we rock. Oh, this is how we rock. The Welcome to the Rock Files. Live and locked. Chill, baby. Welcome to the Rock. Live and locked.
Ladies and gentlemen, another week, another rock. We welcome you to the Rock Files, Rock Talk episode number 2 in full effect right now. For those that missed it last week, we did go live. We did Rock Talk episode 1. The subject of that show was the NIL of high school students. The subject of this show is going to be about Demond Wilson. Most of you know him as Lamont from Sanford and Son. He's recently passed away. But before this brother left, he has some things to say about Holly Weird, Holly Queer, Holly whatever, right? This is basically nothing that is not known by now. You know, usually when somebody does the expose on Holly Weird, they like to individualize, right? they'll talk about, well, this one person did this one thing, and this is a scandal, or this one person did this one thing, they're wicked. Newsflash, it is not the player, it's the uniform. In other words, if it's Hollywood, guarantee that it will be wicked. So Seth, not just Demond Wilson, but so basically anybody that's been caught up in something. Well over 92% of Hollywood is evil. Who don't know that by now? And honestly, at this point, whoever doesn't get it, they don't want it. And if they don't want it, that's their problem. All right. So this is beyond a P. Diddy thing. When we discuss it, this will be beyond a P. Diddy thing. This will be beyond a Clarissa Shields thing, Pat Pooh's thing, whatever individual. This is going to be exposés about all of Hollywood. Basically, we're going to explore the pattern. There's a lot of things that Demond Wilson said in that video that began the show that really is a consistent pattern. You know, we're going to get there. But of course, before we begin, all praise to the Almighty Yahuwah, the Almighty Yah. For without the Almighty, there is absolutely nothing. Only the Almighty is to be worshiped. Only the Almighty is to be praised. Definitely no man and nothing else. We in the chat right now, we got Jason M. Jason M, what's going on? Rock, what up? Tune in from work. Much respect, Jason M. Be sure to tune in to Jason M. Good exercise videos, all that good stuff, you know, good workout stuff. Salute to that. Salute to the workout community, you know, ones like Jason M, like A-Fan. Hey, health is wealth, man. Health is wealth. Salute, salute, salute. All right. Well, let's get right into it. And yes, wait, before we do that, so we're going to be discussing Demond Wilson. We're going to be discussing what Demond Wilson has said about Hollywood. We're going to be discussing Hollywood. And it's going to be a lot of discussions about this. Whenever it's going to be many things that come up, and it's the same pattern. So we're going to be discussing that. We're going to be discussing it's the uniform, not the player. It's the uniform, not the player. We're going to be discussing that. And yes, of course, we have started yet another Battle Rap Award series. We're now doing tiers and awards for virtual battle rap era awards, that is. That means these are battles that happen all through the glorious history of virtual battle rap. We got a couple more awards to award, right? So we're awarding for top tier and legend tier only. And we're also going to go through, of course, the data that's on the community post that discussed, you know, what the turnout was. Low sample size, but kind of some of the stuff matched up, some of the stuff didn't. We're going to get there. Let's get to Hollywood right now. All right. As we proceed, let's see, okay? As we proceed, you'll see here in this video. All right, by the way, salute to Yo 2 Times. Congratulations to Yo 2 Times for moving to Miami. He's been going straight down 75. Yo 2 Times. Salute, man. Salute. Congratulations on your next chapter. All right.
It's a joke.
Oh, hold up. So here's the video right here. We're going to turn the volume up. This is Demond Wilson, who recently has passed. All right, again, this is Lamont, or if you want to call him Lamont from Sanford and Son, you most certainly can. That's on you. But this is Demond Wilson. This is what he says about Hollywood. And we're going to break it down. It's only a 1 minute video. We'll give you the codes to check the video out. Here we go.
Hollywood is a joke. Hollywood is a small community in Los Angeles, and people don't even know that sign that says Hollywood. Hollywood is a piece of wood, a stick that witches conjure with.
Okay. So right there, Demond Wilson, first of all, began the video with Hollywood is a joke. Obviously it is. Now let's go into that. Hollywood is a joke, right? Here's why it's a joke. The first thing about exploring Hollywood to understand, it's based off of fantasy. So if you're looking for real in Hollywood, also seeing that it's part of the film and entertainment industry, newsflash, ladies and gentlemen, nothing is going to be so-called real there, except its wickedness, right? Later, as you just heard, Demond Wilson in this video mentioned that Hollywood, that wood is a conduit. Let's look up what the word conduit meant. Probably in that quote, it could have been said conduit for rich quest, but let's look up conduit. Interesting word, right? Conduit, for those that are not familiar. If you're familiar, you just let it slow boil and wait a minute. Conduit. Conduit, conduit, conduit. Oh, look at this. This will seem familiar. We're going to share it. We're going to share the screen. This is a courtesy of course, AI, but this is from the American Heritage Dictionary of English Language, and this is what conduit means. Let's share the screen. All right, we're good? We should be good. And we're good. All right. Conduit, as he mentions, that means a pipe or channel for conveying fluids such as water, a tube or duct for enclosing electric wires or cable, or, and here's the main one right here, a means by which something is transmitted. A means by which something is transmitted. And also go to channel. Currently on your television right now, you have these things called channels. That is a witchcraft term. Channel, right? You may have heard that in channeling spirits and channeling energy, and how actors, to get into their role, or even musicians or entertainers or celebrities, to get into their role, they channel energy. They channel. That's witchcraft, ladies and gentlemen. That's what witches do. So when Demar Wilson says this statement, let's go back to that, please. Okay. There we go. There we go. Let's go back to it.
Hollywood is a joke. Hollywood is a small community in Los Angeles, and people don't even know that sign that says Hollywood. Hollywood is a piece of wood, a stick that witches conjure with. They used to say in movies, let's make some magic.
Oh, they used to say in movies, quote unquote, let's make some magic. That confirms what is being channeled here. You see it on your screen. This is what Demar Wilson says. This is what he said before he passed. They used to say, and they still say, magic. Even in battle rap, right? Where we're going to do a movie. Guess where that movie term comes from? Hollyweird. So when we say battle rap is Hollyweird, this is what we're referring to. Witchcraft. That's what Hollywood is. Hollyweird is. It's witchcraft. And Hollyweird is not just movies. It's not just TV. Hollyweird is sports, entertainment in general, politics, all of that. That's what Hollyweird is. Okay, so let's go. Let's look up the definition of entertainment real quick. All right, and all this goes, let's go ahead and bookmark that. All this goes into a discussion about Hollyweird. It's not the player, it's the uniform. All right, that's the whole point. So focus on that. All right, so here we go. We got definition of entertainment, right? Entertainment definition. Cool. See what we got. Now, this is very important. And we're not going to read the Wikipedia stuff. We're going to share the screen in a minute. Here's your definition of entertainment. This gets thrown around a lot. So here you have entertainment, the act of entertaining, the art of feeling entertainment. Look at the third definition. And this, again, is from the American Heritage Dictionary of the English Language, right? Something that amuses, pleases, or diverts, especially a performance or show. Notice that this entertainment definition is not limited to music. It's not limited to movies. It says something. There is where your sports are included. Your politics are included. Your motivational speakers are included. Models, dancers, singers, actors, all of that. All of that is the entertainment. All of that is entertainment. Something that amuses, pleases, right? That goes to what Demar Wilson was saying. A conduit of witchcraft, Hollywood magic, illusion, lies. So anything that's of illusion, lies, magic, witchcraft, ladies and gentlemen, is not going to be righteous. A lot of this individuals probably heard before, right? But it's just interesting how if it's heard before and is known, Why is there a shock? Why is there a shock when something wicked comes out of Hollywood? Anything of it. That battle rap is something that amuses, pleases, or diverts, especially a performance or a show. Isn't that one of the criteria of battle rap? Performance, right? Show, put on the show. Again, URL has consistently said, along with other leagues, I think it's URL and URL and Gates of the Garden, they talk about it's going to be a movie. It's going to be a movie. A movie, a show, fake. That's the thing to really wrap the consciousness around. Hollywood is fake. Anything of Hollywood. And that includes all of its entertainment. So if it's fake, it has to be of an illusion, which leads to magic. Let's go back to Demond Wilson. Let's see what else he says. All right.
Demond Wilson, widely recognized for his role as Lamont in the iconic TV series Sanford and Son. In this WWE TV Shorts throwback, he talks about ills of Hollywood.
Okay. It was a
Now, one thing about reporting this, right? You're going to get a lot of passivity in journalism and reporting. If you notice, individuals like to say these phrases, this is what Demond Wilson says, and this is Demond Wilson this. Most reporting won't attach itself to the report. Oh, but we will. We stand behind the statements. Now, keep in mind, salute to Demond Wilson, but he was there for a minute. Now, of course, he got out. This is one of the few that actually got out. Does this mean he's righteous? We have no idea. Because, again, we're not focused on the individual, focused on the message about Hollywood. There's going to be many that does this. And if you want something else, take a look at what's been successful in Hollywood. Even take a look at what's been successful in aspects of Hollywood. Again, like battle rap, hip hop, rock and roll, music in general, etc. Right? Notice that mainstream big companies, they will what? They push the drama angle. Why? Because that's the crowd they want to attract that way. Drama, Hollywood, magic, as Demond Wilson has spoken about. Right? Now, this report, well, it's AI, obviously. This AI concoction has just reported that this is what Demond Williams says. So it detached itself from the reporting. All right, cool. He's about to tell you a more specific example of how Hollywood is a joke and one of the ways Hollywood handles its talent. Let's go there right now.
very talented brother who is deceased now named Billy Preston.
Oh, man.
Now let's stop right there. He mentioned Billy Preston. Billy Preston. Who is Billy Preston? Well, let's look it up. This is very important for this discussion. And again, this is just one example of the uniform. All right, Billy Preston. He mentioned that he is now deceased. Let's just go Billy Preston biography. Billy Preston. Now don't get it twisted. Oh, here you go. Well, that's Wikipedia. Let's go. Let's do better than that. Britannica. That's good. All right. Should we go here? Let's go here. Yeah. So this is who Billy Preston is. We should be able to see it right here. All right, cool. Billy Preston. All right. And I want to give a shout out to Celebrity Tribute. We're not going to be doing this whole video, but this is a Celebrity Tribute. If you want to see this video clip or this video story of Billy Preston in its entirety. All right, let's go.
Sad ending of.
Let's go here. And this is just one reference to it. This is from YouTube, and there's a lot of stuff that we know. You know what? Let's go here instead. Let's go here instead. Nah, skip that. Let's go here instead.
Billy Preston is an essential.
Perfect. Yeah, let's go here. Let's go here. All right. So as you see here, Billy Preston passed away in 2006. So that does support and that does edify, strengthen the claim of Demond Wilson, who also has just passed in 2020. Isn't that interesting? Demond Wilson passes away in 2026. Billy Preston passed away in 2006. But let's see what's going on with Billy.
Part of the fabric of rock and roll. He blazed a path with the smoking sounds of his B3 organ and the exciting tones of his gospel-inspired vocals and piano. Although he enjoyed a period of solo success with the 1970s soul smashers like Will It Go Round in Circles, Nothing from Nothing, and the Grammy-winning funk instrumental Outer Space, keyboardist, singer, and songwriter Billy Preston was best known for his prolific work as a sideman and collaborator throughout R&B, rock, soul, and gospel music.
So that gives you an idea who Billy Preston is for those that don't know. Billy Preston. Maze, what up, what up, what up? Salute to Maze, salute to Maze. We got Maze in the building. Be sure to subscribe and share the channel of I Am Maze 513. Salute, salute. All right. So here's the thing. We're showing you Billy Preston because Demond Wilson is about to tell you about Billy Preston. Just give you an idea. So Billy Preston basically is one of the innovators of modern rock and roll, as it says, modern rock and roll, pop, and blues, and soul. Okay, hold on a minute, please. All right, there we go. Yeah, that's good right there.
A self-taught child prodigy, the Houston native cut his teeth as a teenager in the late 50s and early 60s, backing up Little Richard, Sam Cooke.
Uh-oh, you heard that? Billy Preston got his introduction backing up Little Richard, Sam Cooke. Now, if we were to go back there, who's Sam Cooke, who's Little Richard, you seeing a pattern here? So first we begin with Demond Wilson. Demond Wilson, who's going to tell us a story about Billy Preston and who Billy Preston was handled by. Yes, Billy Preston had a handler. Why does that matter, right? Well, this is all back in the day, rock, who cares? Because the same stuff happens now. It's not the player, it's the uniform. All these individuals are brought in by somebody, usually through somebody dirty, right? Someone that's established, then that someone that's established is in one way or another, even if they're not incredibly successful the way they want to be, they're a veteran. They bring in who they want to put in next to put in position and take that in more ways than one. There, that is a pause, right? So they take whoever they want in a certain position through these handlers. And these handlers all are usually in a related field to what they call the new one. There's even a term they use that Prison adopted, and this is pause. They use the term fresh meat. It's nasty. Bruce Leaf in the building. Salute. Bruce Leaf is in the building. Bruce, be sure to subscribe to Bruce Leaf. You know, share the channel, all that good stuff. You know, subscribe to Bruce Leaf. Salute to Bruce Leaf. Now, why are we showing you Billy Preston? Because Billy Preston used to, when they say back up, they're talking about be in a band with, as far as provide a sound for or play music along with. Okay, that's what backup means. We're just keeping it plain in case there's any terms misconstrued. So the same way Sam Cooke and Little Richard got in, this is how Billy Preston got in. And Billy Preston, again, is one of the innovators, one of the most innovative contributors to rock, soul, and pop. A lot of the instrumentation you hear, solos you hear, or whatever, it was basically, a lot of it was innovated with Billy Preston. Also, Billy Preston even played with the Beatles. He was called the fifth Beatle. That's how important Billy Preston is to what we hear musically. Now, but let's keep going.
And later, Ray Charles. Known for his big smile and an even bigger afro, Billy Preston died in an avalanche of health, legal, and financial problems. Billy Preston is an essential part of the fabric of rock and roll. He blazed a path with the smoking sounds of his big...
Okay, so in this situation, Billy Preston had a tragic ending, all right? Also played with Ray Charles, and he died, and here's a very important part of this. Billy Preston died in a big mess, as it said, in a big mess of financial, legal, and drug problems. Have you heard this before? Yet another Hollywood person, when they die, is either going to die in scandal, financial, drug, or legal issues, right? Has it ever occurred to the viewing and listening audience, how come all these highly weirdos go out the same way? Either through a sacrifice, financial, drug, legal, etc. It's the same stuff. Now, somebody will say, well, isn't that how most people die? It is not. How many people do you know get a scandal and all of a sudden are driving on the side of a road, for example? Just ask Malcolm Jamal Warner, how come his passing is a similar passing to Lisa Left Eye Lopez, minus the plane crash? That's not coincidence. It's not the player, it's the uniform. It's not the player, it's the uniform. All of this Hollywood trash is the same. So we can hopefully, and the whole purpose of bringing this out is look for the pattern first, then maybe awareness will increase. And of course, you won't be so shocked when the next individual has this same outcome. So that's who Billy Preston is. Again, to repeat, Billy Preston, who had most of the peak success, mainstream wise, that is, in the 60s and 70s, began in the 50s, playing along with Little Richard, Sam Cooke, and then, of course, Ray Charles, also known as the Fifth Beatle. Here's what Demond Wilson had to inform about Billy Preston. Let's go back to Demond Wilson.
Lovely man, talented man. His mother played Sapphire on the Amos and Andy show.
Okay.
Stop. That's his mama. His mom played a character on the Amos and Andy show. Now, a lot of this stuff is history. Okay. What's Amos and Andy? What's Sapphire? Amos and Andy was a show that featured quote unquote black people during a moment of segregation. It was a minstrel show, quite frankly, on TV. That's what it was. So it's for those that, hasn't studied this history or whatever, before so-called black people were allowed to be on TV and actually, how about this? Before Cosby Show had, yes, we know about Bill Cosby and all that, and that'll be an interesting thing to go through. It's the same thing over and over again. But before these black people were allowed to have more dignified, at least to society, more dignified roles, they had to appear on shows as a parody of themselves. Haven't we heard the word parody in battle rap? That happened in Hollywood first. They had to be parodies first on shows like Amos and Andy. Billy Preston's mom, as Demond Wilson said, played a character on that show. This is Sapphire. That's his mama. All right. Let's go further. This is very important. Let's go further.
He was traveling with that show because Amos and Andy went on.
Now look, you see these guys, Amos and Andy? This tells you the parody it was. Look how they're dressed. Okay. They look like buffoons a little bit, right? They in order to assimilate into Hollywood, so-called black people had to go through a humiliation ritual. They had to portray themselves. There's even those that weren't so-called black people that had to put on blackface to imitate them. Al Jolson comes to mind. This is history. Do your research, right? This is history. But the reason why this history is so important, because this outlines, and to be honest with you, in the case of Hollywood, history has not changed. So the same way a humiliation ritual will be the way that these so-called black people got in, such as Amos and Andy and the character Sapphire, will be the same way that still others that want to get into mainstream Hollywood will have to go through. It could be argued that even Sanford and Son had a parody going on. The over-inflated character of Red Fox. Notice that they had him owning a junkyard with his son. Notice all the jokes that will fly there. Also notice the parody they did about the Puerto Rican neighbor, Julio. All of this matters. This is what Hollywood does. It is not the player. It's the uniform. In other words, all of Hollywood is wicked. They do the same thing. And what is Hollyweird? Politicians, spokespeople, of course, athletes, celebrities, personalities, musicians, dancers, models, singers, actors. And that's just a short list. And notice we did say politicians. So take that with yeah. So that means so you're trying to say Donald Trump is a part of Hollyweird? Of course he is. He acted before. Barack Obama too. All of these politicians, they are Hollyweird. It's a show. Simple as that. To stay on topic here. This is where Billy Preston used to travel with. This is where he was involved before Sam Cooke, before Little Richard. And notice something. There's a whole lot of rainbow around Billy Preston, right? Oh, we're gonna get to another rainbow. You've heard now Sam Cooke, not so much as far as publicly known or actually publicly discovered. But Little Richard, there's allegations about him being rainbow, right? All around Billy Preston. So what does the Mount Wilson got to say about that type of association? So we did the parody. Let's go forward.
On the road. And she gave Billy, at a young age, with all his talents, to Reverend James Cleveland.
Reverend James Cleveland. Another rainbow. This is not to attack rainbow. This is to say what Hollyweird is. Very important. This is what Hollyweird does. This is how Hollyweird moves. So whoever your actor, your favorite actor, your favorite musician, favorite model is, best believe in order for it, especially if they're being pushed and promoted, you see their faces everywhere. Wasn't there just a Grammy show, right? Lauryn Hill does a duet. Does a duet, excuse it. Lauryn Hill, it was part of a tribute to Roberta Flack, who just passed away. And they did a big old ceremony. It was a ritual right on stage. That has been done before. There's nothing new under the sun. There is nothing new with Hollyweird. And he mentioned James Cleveland. Well, you got it. Let's look up who is James Cleveland. Who is James Cleveland? See if we can get a short on that. All right. See what we get. Okay. Yeah, let's go to this one. We do have a short. Hold on one second. All righty. Let's go here. This is who James Cleveland is. You heard the audio in the background. We're going to go ahead and get this short about James Cleveland. All right. Be sure we're good. We're good here. Excellent. By the way, salute to the chat. Jason M in the building. Salute. Much respect. Maze is in the building. Salute to Maze. Bruce Leaf is in the building. Salute to all y'all, man. This is everybody that's watching on IG. You are tuned into the Rock Files, Rock Talk, episode 2. This is about Demond Wilson. This is about the uniform, not the player. I'm sorry, the player, not the uniform. Player, not the uniform. All right. All this is about, listen, Hollyweird is not to be individualized. It's to be taken as a collective and gather the pattern. And there will be a pushback on this. Well, Rock, not everybody in Hollywood's wicked. We're focused too much on people. Everything in Hollyweird is wicked, though. Everything in Hollyweird is wicked. It has to be. You know why it has to be? Because that's how they get money, is through wickedness. Here's James Cleveland going to show you something. This is also part of Hollyweird. Yes, even quote unquote gospel music. Here you go.
James Cleveland, 1931 to 1991. James Cleveland was a gospel singer, songwriter, and choir director who revolutionized gospel music with his powerful arrangements and choral direction. He founded the Gospel Music Workshop of America and worked with legends like Aretha Franklin and Mahalia Jackson. Songs like Peace Be Still solidified his influence in gospel music. James Cleveland, 1931.
Okay, so that is the straight bio. James Cleveland, innovator of what they call gospel. And we always say what they call gospel because a lot of that music that they do is not of the gospel of the Almighty Yah. It is not. Mm-mm. It is of a whole other gospel. That's a whole other conversation for another day. But that's who James Cleveland is by text, right? So now you know who James Cleveland is. Innovative, quote unquote, gospel music arranger. All right. Now let's go to some things that are known about James Cleveland beyond that. All right. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay.
Welcome to the channel.
All right. So these are some dark secrets of James Cleveland. So we gave you the bio of who he was by straight up text. Check this out. All right, cool.
Today, we're diving into the controversial story of James Cleveland, the king of gospel. While he was celebrated as a legend, shocking rumors surfaced after his passing. His foster son, Christopher Harris, confirmed disturbing allegations that shook his legacy. What secrets were hidden? And do these revelations change Cleveland's image forever? Don't forget to like.
Okay, so now we have a short that discussed that there were some shocking things that were revealed after. Now, that's another thing about this. These are things that were revealed after he passed. That means he was protected while he was living. Why was he protected? Because they were getting money off of him. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right. Let's see if this will go here. Oh, wow. Yes, it will. All right. All right. So this is what James Cleveland's son is going to reveal here. This is Legends of the 50s. All right. We'll do a little bit.
Let me ask you this. The Reverend James.
All right. Hold on. All right. So we gave you the text of who James Cleveland was. We gave you the rollout that there are allegations against James Cleveland. Why are we discussing James Cleveland? Because it relates to Billy Preston, which relates to Demond Wilson, stating that Hollywood is a joke. All of this is about Hollywood.
Let me ask you this. Did Reverend James Cleveland really die from AIDS?
Whoa.
The gospel from all over the world together. Asked them what they thought about the idea.
James Cleveland, the king of gospel, was revered for his divine music and for...
Stop right there. This is the problem right here. That's blasphemy. Notice how it said James Cleveland was revered for his divine music. Here's the message to all musicians and all those that are vessels of the gift that the Almighty gave you. That is not your gift. That music is not yours. The world will say it's yours. That music that's being channeled, yes, that's being delivered through these individuals, that's the music of the Almighty Yah. That's the music of the Almighty. That's whose gift it is. All a human being does is manage that. That is not yours. And notice how blasphemous that the world will say, well, it's James Cleveland's. That's also Hollywood. Let's continue.
Grammy Awards. However, his passing unveiled shocking secrets that tarnished his legacy. His son, Christopher Harris, exposed disturbing facts that sent shockwaves through the gospel community. What sinister deeds led to Cleveland being labeled the most evil man in gospel?
Oh, there you go. So now someone that was an innovator, the second he passed, maybe a little bit before he passed, he is now labeled back then. By the way, he died in 1991, as you saw in the earlier short, right? So toward the end of that, he's labeled the most evil man in gospel. It's interesting how they have that phrase, the most evil man in gospel. You see the chaos in that? That's also leading to why James Cleveland was put out there to be, in that era, the face of gospel music. We're going to hold that right there. Let's go and finish up with Demond Wilson had to say about James Cleveland. Let's go here.
Because Amos and Andy went on the road. And she gave Billy, at a young age, with all his talents, to Reverend James Cleveland.
Stop. Billy Preston's mama. Let's keep track. There's a lot here. Demond Wilson, for those that's just tuning in, this is about Demond Wilson, who recently passed. R.I.P. to Demond Wilson. We pray the best for Demond Wilson, and then in the name of the Almighty Yah, and according to the Almighty plan, to Demond Wilson and his family. But this is Demond Wilson speaking on Billy Preston. We already went through Billy Preston for those that missed it. Billy Preston's mom, who was in Hollywood acting with Amos and Andy, according to this, gave Billy Preston to James Cleveland. Salute to Nat King Cole. Not just Nat King Cole, but salute to the anonymous female that was in the R. Kelly video. Because isn't that what happened to her? Wasn't she given by a relative to R. Kelly? You see how this stuff keeps repeating? It's all of Hollywood. This is what they do. Handlers, honeypots, honey babies, sugar daddies, all this stuff. They find a talent, and then usually a relative, or they have some bloodline or whatever attached to Hollywood, and they take that next generation and feed them to something else in Hollywood, usually something evil. Let's listen to this again. Very important. Let's go. Yeah, let's go here.
Because Amos and Andy went on the road. And she gave Billy, at a young age, with all his talents, to Reverend James Cleveland.
His mama gave Billy Preston with all of his talents. By the way, talent, look up the word talent. We can do it later. But look up the word talent. Talent is something used in potion of witchcraft. Let it simmer. Let it simmer. Let it slow boil. It is not a coincidence that this pattern of witchcraft, this pattern of evil, blasphemy, chaos is flowing straight through Hollywood. But wait, this is Billy Preston's mom that gave Billy Preston, her son, to James Cleveland. Let's see who Demond Wilson says James Cleveland is.
Who was a known, whatever word you want to put it.
James Cleveland, who was a known, whatever word you want to call him, right? Well, Demond, R.I.P. Demond Wilson, we are going to go ahead and let you know what the word was that he was called. Here's one of them right here. Let's back it up a little bit here. Pause.
Christopher Harris exposed disturbing facts that sent shockwaves through the gospel community. What sinister deeds led to Cleveland being labeled the most evil man in gospel? To understand the startling allegations about James Cleveland.
Stop right there. So that's one thing that he was known for, was being evil. That's the cost of reputation. Let's keep going.
We must first explore the formative experiences that molded his life. Early life and career. James Cleveland was born on December 5th, 1931, in the heart of Chicago, a city brimming with gospel music. His parents, hardworking and deeply religious.
Have you heard this before about other celebrities? Have you heard this before? A lot of these celebrities in the inner city, a city that was that had music going on, right? And of course, the parents have to be blue collar. I wonder who put these parents in those situations, in those cities. Yes, of course, the parents have a choice, but who basically cornered all of these choices for them to end up there? Let's keep going. Also known as deeply religious, not deeply obedient, but that's a whole different topic. Let's go.
Raised him in an environment where faith and music were intertwined. His grandmother, a devout woman, played a pivotal role in his upbringing. She introduced young James to the Pilgrim Baptist Church, a place that would become central to his life and career. From a tender age, James showed a natural talent for music. At just 8 years old, he made his solo debut with the church choir, leaving an impression on everyone who heard him. The church's choir director, Thomas A. Dorsey, known...
So James Cleveland comes from Thomas Dorsey. Do you see this pattern yet? And if you look up Thomas Dorsey was a member of a certain organization. This is not coincidence. Let's keep going. And you know what? So that's given a. Let's get to allegations. Let's get to the allegations. All righty, let's go to 6 minutes. So this is just, so for those that oh, isn't this interesting? Let's go back a little bit here. Yeah, let's start here. All right, cool.
In 1977 and the iconic Please Be Patient With Me in 1979, which earned Walker her first gold record. Cleveland didn't stop there. In 1959, he recorded a version of Ray Charles's hit, Hallelujah.
Stop right there. Ray Charles. Who else used to perform with Ray Charles? Oh, yeah, Billy Preston. Isn't that what Demar Wilson was just talking about? How did Billy Preston get to perform with Ray Charles? And of course, Billy Preston is extremely amazing on organ. But how did that happen? There's tons of amazing talents on organ. How did Billy Preston get it? Oh, yeah, because he was given by his mama to be handled by James Cleveland, who also did a song with, did a rendition of Ray Charles' song. Let's keep it going.
Hallelujah, I Love Her So, as a solo artist. And by 1960, he had incorporated blues riffs. His rendition of the Soul Stirrers song.
Soul Stirrers. That's Sam Cooke's group. Remember we heard the name Sam Cooke? Let's keep going.
The Love of God, backed by the voices of Tabernacle.
You ever notice that so-called gospel music doesn't ever say Yah, Yahuwah, Jehovah Jireh, Yahweh? It's God. It's the same language of this God, whatever the God they're talking about, that echoes what the blasphemous institutions reflect. Keep thinking. We keep going.
From Detroit was a hit, earning him a record contract that would change his life forever. Turning Point. In 1962, Cleveland signed with Savoy Records, a historic jazz label.
So now here we got Cleveland moving to Los Angeles. Isn't that what most inner city people that live in Milwaukee, Cincinnati, Dayton, Detroit, Indianapolis, let's go a little bit further west, St. Louis, all that. Isn't that what usually happens? They begin their development and their learning in those cities where they grew up, where mom and dad usually working a plantation, all that stuff. And then from there, they move out to Los Angeles. Guess what's in Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen? Hollywood. It's not the player, it's the uniform.
This partnership produced a vast catalogue of soul gospel recordings, many captured live in concert settings. Reverend Lawrence Roberts, pastor of the First Baptist Church in Nutley, New Jersey, liked the idea of capturing the spirit of worship live on record. Cleveland.
Okay, we're going to fast forward past that and get to this. Well, look at this.
15 years. Cleveland then moved to Los Angeles.
Well, look at that. Cleveland moved to Los Angeles. Well, didn't we just mention that after the development and training in these mid-market to small market towns, then basically they're encouraged to go to Hollywood, the witchcraft place. Notice that this is not just James Cleveland's story. This is not just Billy Preston's story. This is James Cleveland's story, Billy Preston's story, Little Richard's story, etc., etc. Ray Charles' story. Why do they all have the same story? Because Hollywood has the same method.
To become minister of music at Grace Memorial Church of God in Christ. Here, he worked with keyboardist Billy Preston.
And round we go. See the connection? All right. So let's get to the allegations of James Cleveland and why it's so incredible. Okay. Songs. Uncover final Grammy last Sunday. Donald Mark. Funeral Shrine. Okay, hold on. All right, let's go here. Yeah, let's go here. So this is after James Cleveland passed away.
It was a testament to the impact he had on so many lives. James.
And notice how often Hollywood likes to count people. Notice it's Hollywood, they'll say, this is a people business. Usually based off of words like influence, words like selling. These are not righteous terms. Let's keep going.
James Cleveland was laid to rest at Inglewood Park Cemetery in Inglewood, California. His legacy, however, continues to live on through his music, and the countless artists he influenced died interstate. When James Cleveland died, he left behind a complicated legal mess because he didn't have a will. This caused trouble for Andre Cleveland, who claimed he deserved a share of the estate. Andre filed petitions to transfer some of James's property to the estate.
Now, why would Andre Cleveland claim he deserved a part of the estate? Who else would what other type of relation would claim that they deserve a part of the estate? Sounds like a quote unquote, what society would call a lover's quarrel. Let's see if that's what's going on. That might go back to what DeMond Wilson was saying, who was a known quote unquote. Let's go.
State, but the court didn't make it easy for him. Andre, whose real name is Andre McKissick, said he was like a foster son to James Cleveland. Andre's mother, Esther McKissick, moved to Los Angeles in 1968 and met James. They lived in James's home for 12 years. From when Andre was 12 until he turned 24, James supported Andre and even claimed him as a dependent on his tax return.
Oh! Sound kind of Diddy-ish, doesn't it? Sounds like a Michael Jackson thing. We've heard this before. And notice that, as usual, these allegations come out. I mean, in the case of Michael Jackson, it came out while he was living. But in this case, here we go. This is happening after he passed. And isn't it interesting how someone takes in somebody? Now, it's possible. Couldn't somebody have been a mentor? Somebody could have been just benevolent. It's possible. Let's see if that holds up. Let's be fair. Let's see if that holds up.
Returns. Andre argued that James wanted to adopt him, but his mother refused because she wanted Andre to keep her surname. In court, Andre tried to prove he was an interested person under a specific probate law. This law allows a foster child or stepchild to inherit if there's clear evidence that the deceased would have adopted them, but for a legal barrier. However, the court decided that no legal barrier existed once Andre turned 18, which was 16 years before James's death. This meant Andre didn't qualify to claim part of the estate. On November 6, 1991, Andre filed petitions to transfer property to James's estate. Annette Mae Thomas, the trustee of James's trust, opposed these petitions. She argued that Andre lacked standing because he was not legally adopted and was only mentioned as a friend and godson in the trust, with a specific gift of $110,000.
So this is pretty common here. There's going to be arguments over money in the state and people want property. Let's keep going.
Which he received. Annette filed.
So he got the money. He got the money. Okay.
For summary judgment, and the court granted it. The judge agreed that Andre did not qualify as an interested person because the legal barrier to his adoption, his mother's refusal, ceased to exist when he turned 18. Despite living with James and receiving support, no adoption process was initiated after Andre became an adult. This meant he had no legal right to inherit under the probate law. Andre appealed the decision, but the appellate court upheld the summary judgment. The court emphasized that the law required a legal barrier to be the only reason the adoption didn't happen. Since Andre's mother's
Okay, so here you have a scandal, right? Now peep this. All of this sounds the same. Does this back up DeMond Wilson's claim that James Cleveland was a no? Keep in mind, James Cleveland, the handler of Billy Preston. So here's a review. Let's go back to the review. Let's go back to the review. So we can go ahead and explain why this is being DeMond Wilson. Hollywood is a joke. Keep watching. So that catches you up to why we're discussing James Cleveland. All right, that catches you up. Now, to finish this out, let's go here. Ooh, okay. All right, we'll go here. Oh, this is a lady that wants a piece of the property too. All right, we just let it ride. So, my bad. We're going to play that back again. My bad. We didn't switch the screen. Apologies. You know what? Let's just go here. Yeah. We'll go here. Go. Let's go back to that again. This is what DeMond Wilson was. Yep, here we go. Game, set, match. Yeah. And this also leads a very, very interesting connection toward the other son that you saw mentioned in this. Right? Was this son really a foster son, or was there other things going on with that? Is it possible? But here's the deal. The point is not so much about James Cleveland. This is a point about Hollywood. It's not the player, it's the uniform. And don't get it wrong, the player wears the uniform. But the focus is about Hollywood, the things that these individuals consistently do to be a part of this, engaging in chaos, blasphemous acts, etc. And also controversies. Let's keep going. Stop right there. Not only do you have rainbow, you got pedophilia. Now these are allegations. Let's see if they were proven, because this is what Demar Wilson was alluding to right here. Oh, so we got allegations of abuse about James Cleveland involving a minor son that got settled out of court. And he can't talk about it. This is Weinstein before Weinstein. Again, it's not the player. How about this? It's not just the player, it's the uniform. And notice, this is the type of person that Billy Preston's mama gave to. So it's so easy to get on the actual faces we see in camera. It's so easy to get on the actual talent, but then the parents get a free ride and they get dismissed as if they're innocent when they're not. Especially when you talk to the case of minors. And why do a lot of them do it? There's an episode of SVU back in the day. Episode of SVU that had a Michael Jackson type character that was getting minor sons and was doing whatever, right? There was that. But why does it happen? Because a lot of these parents are blue collar in these cities and they want money. Does this sound familiar yet? This is something that not only has gone on since the past. We're talking about stuff as far back as the 50s. And it's even further back than that, man. Hollywood is a joke. Demar Wilson's allegations have been substantiated. This is what Hollywood is. We're going to have more talks about it. Let's get to battle rap. Let's get to battle rap. Salute everybody. Welcome to the Rock Files. You are in the midst of Rock Talk Episode 2. Rock Talk Episode 2. Yes, for those that's asking, we only go live once a week. Go live once a week. So shout out to all. Wow. YouTube says we have 302 subscribers. Salute to that. All right. Just want to mention it. You know, we know a lot of these are burner accounts. Salute to the burner accounts. You know, participate and do what you will. You know. All righty. Let us go here. We got to go all the way. Yeah, we're going to go here. All right. We got some final data. We have final to the data. All right. Good, right? Get back to battle rap, man. That other stuff is cool. Get back to battle rap. All right, cool. Here's battle rap. All right. So we have begun a series. It's called the Virtual Era Series. Virtual Era Series is a series that discusses virtual battle rap all through its inception up till now. What the whole goal of this is to say, what battles are on what tier? A lot of these are battles that are still revered to this day. This is more of a historical classification. So here you have Alice Paladins versus De Niro. We've asked the question. We have 4 categories. They're very simple. We have legend tier, top tier, mid tier, trash tier. Now, what we do to gather data off of this is something also very simple. We ask a question. Individuals vote, and then we let the vote go for a little bit. Now, the final data for this channel, by having 302 subscribers, is either 30 votes or 24 to 48 hours, whichever comes first. This is 72 hours. So even though it's 11 votes, it's 72 hours. The fan vote for this has the battle, Alice Paladins versus De Niro, 9% legend tier. 36% top tier, 18% mid tier, 36% trash tier. So we got a whole lot of different fan vote here, but we do have a submission. And this submission is from the brother Magneto. Salute to Magneto. Be sure to subscribe to Magneto. Magneto says this is a legend tier. That's a submission. Magneto says the battle between Alex Palix versus De Niro. Salute to Alex Palix, by the way, who recently battled. I think his last battle in virtual was against D Money, right? And De Niro, we haven't seen De Niro in a while. Okay. While the fan vote has a split between top tier, and we go by the greatest percentage, obviously, right? So the greatest percentage is tied between top tier and trash tier, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to let this go a little bit to see if that tie will be broken. If not, we will ask the question again and get more data. Simple as that. Because if it does become top tier, there will be a top tier award given for this era battle. If it doesn't, if it goes legend tier, we only are giving awards. Listen closely. Because there's two things that niggas don't do. They don't listen and they don't read. Listen closely. The awards that we give for these virtual era series battles will only be for legend tier and top tier. That is it. There's no reason to award mid tier or trash tier. That's ridiculous. So only for legend tier and top tier. So an award is at stake here. When this first began, it was pretty overwhelming top tier for a minute, and we have a submission again from Magneto, legend tier. We will ask the question to the chat. Chat, is Alex Palix versus De Niro a legend tier, top tier, mid tier, or trash tier battle? Okay, Jason M in the building. Jason M has said top tier. So we got one submission from Magneto, legend tier, one submission from Jason M, top tier. Salute to that. Okay, so right now, submission-wise, we're kind of split. We're going to keep asking questions. And what you'll notice about our virtual era series awards is the majority of them are fan vote. We have not begun fully the submission vote process yet. All right, so we will do that on all of these tier votes. Jason M, salute, top tier battle, Alex Palix versus De Niro. Excellent. We're going to lock that in. Magneto has legend tier. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is a very simple process. And just to be clear, and it's been said a lot about various things we do on this channel. Well, that's Rock's opinion, him. This channel is not to be individualized. This is just a collection of data from those that participate in the process. Don't really care about your drama. Don't care about your individualism. Because honestly, as also noted, Rock is not going to really express too much of an opinion on a lot of this. There's already enough of personal opinion in egotistical shows. We're not going to do that here. Let's keep moving. All right. Trey Doe versus GX. Same question. Is this legend tier, top tier, mid tier, trash tier? So when this first started, it was mostly called a trash tier battle. But then top tier took over. Now mid tier took over. This could be considered final data, but we're going to have a discussion about it. Okay? Okay. Right now, the greatest percentage is for mid tier battle, 43%. Top tier is not too far behind it with 36%. Salute to the 14 votes we got. And trash tier is 21%. We do have a submission. We do have a submission. The submission is for Magneto again. Salute to Magneto. Magneto says this is a top tier battle. Okay. So we have a submission for top tier battle for Trey Doe versus GX. Excellent. So let's go ahead and ask the chat. Yo, chat. Oh, well, there it is. Jason M already on point. Jason M. That's two submissions for Trey Doe versus GX as a top tier battle. So right now we have a submission lead. We have a submission lead. There may be a submission top tier award going for that. This is all record. These are submissions. Appreciate Jason M for being a constituent. All right. And look, these are going to be data collections whether individuals agree or not. All righty. Let's go. Okay, we did De Niro, GX. Let us now go to, and this was overwhelmingly a fan vote here. According to fan vote, the battle between Harlem Legend and Reaper Rel has 54% legend tier battle, 15% top tier, 31% trash tier. However, the greatest percentage after final data for fan vote, and this is 72 hours later, 3 days, is this is considered a legend tier battle by fan vote. Congratulations to Harlem Legend versus Reaper Rel. They have called this by fan vote, and we'll see about submission vote. They have called this by fan vote a legend tier battle for virtual. Now, it should be noted, yeah, you had stumbling performances in this, but you also had very memorable. To this day, a lot of lines, mainly from Harlem Legend, is being quoted. This was called a parody battle for a minute. Reaper Rel won, but Harlem Legend won the war. Huh. We're going to ask the chat. Yo, chat. What up, though? Is Harlem Legend versus Reaper Rel a legend tier, top tier, or mid tier, trash tier battle? Which one is it? And we're also going to show the question about what determines a tier in a minute. But which one is it? Trash tier, mid tier, top tier, legend tier. The fan vote has this overwhelmingly a legend tier battle. Oh, we have a submission. Jason M in the building. Legend tier. What do you do? Now, obviously, we're going to go to the criteria, but wait a minute. What determines tier? Were those bars we at? Well, respectfully, this is where we get to the artistic perspective of a battle now. A battle may not have all these incredible bars, but if they got moments, that those moments will overtake the performance and take the bars. Jason M, legend tier. And honestly, depending on which way you want to cut this pie, slice this cake, there's actually something to think about. A lot of bars. Look, first of all, a mark of a legend tier battle is that it's still remembered. This battle is still remembered. There's been a whole lot of virtual battles that have not been remembered. This is still remembered. Another thing, a lot of quotables in this battle. Well, there's some definite quotables that have lasted from jump. Jason M, exactly. This is one of the most memorable battles. Yeah. And something can be memorable for many reasons. It could be bars, performance, aggression, talent. It could also be for comedy. Harlem Legend, that been me, you know. Supreme Shot, if not mistaken, after this battle was was a quotable for that, maybe for 18 months in a row. Who wasn't saying Supreme Shot? That's a moment, yo. So we have a submission for legend tier, and there's a decent argument, if you want to say. And case, we'll say case. There's a decent case for that. Let's continue. So far, things are kind of matching up as far as this battle. Let's see what we got. Okay, now we already have given awards. Congratulations to Clip Corleone versus QP. It has been awarded top tier battle. Virtual era top tier battle, Clip Corleone versus QP. We'll go to the results and show you that right now. Clip Corleone versus QP. Clip Corleone versus QP. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. Hold on. Here you go. These were the results of that battle. It was not that hard to call, as you see. Let's go ahead and show you what those results look like. Here you have, wait, let's go here. Here you have, yeah, that's good. For Clip Corleone versus QP, 11 votes, well over, and this was actually done last week, but well over many, many hours ago. 64% top tier battle. Nothing else to say. For fan vote, that is. So yep, 64% top tier. That's how I got the top tier award. It's not hard to figure out. Everything matches up. Everything matches up. So congratulations to Clip Corleone and QP. Virtual era top tier battle by fan vote. The next one, you kind of saw a little bit of it. Rio Nicosi versus Innovate also received top tier virtual era battle award. Rio Nicosi versus Innovate by fan vote. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Those results. There it is. Okay. Rio Nicosi. Only 8 votes. But look, there you go. 63%. That's only 1% lower than Clip Corleone versus QP in its category. So around the same level that Clip Corleone versus QP is considered a top tier battle, so is Rio versus Innovate. So congratulations. Let's get up there. All right, here. Yeah, so congratulations to, all right, there we go. Nice. Congratulations to Rio Nicosi versus Innovate. That is a virtual era battle top tier award by fan vote. You'll notice fan vote at the bottom. And for submission vote, we'll have that also at the bottom of the award. All right. So we already gave out top tier awards. So 2 top tier awards have been given out. Rio versus Innovate and Clip versus QP. We move on. Now, we just put this up a couple days ago. Loso versus Innovate. All right. Loso versus Innovate. It's been 24 hours. Hold on a minute. All right, cool. It's been 24 hours. Final data. No, excuse me. It's been 48 hours. Apologies. It's been 48 hours. Final data. This is our first overwhelming legend tier battle. Loso versus Innovate. 56% legend tier battle. Top tier 11%, mid tier 33%. But this is Innovate's second award for battle. He has one. This is how it breaks down now. He has 1 award for top tier. Actually, he has 3 awards. Yeah. Innovate versus Rio, Innovate, no, 2. Right. Innovate versus Rio, and now Innovate versus Loso. 1 top tier and 1 legend tier award. And this is Loso's first. Yeah. Salute. Legend tier. 9 votes is a low sample size, but 48 hours is a whole lot to wait for. And after all that, nothing changed. 56% legend tier. Congratulations to Loso versus Innovate. That is now officially called a legend tier battle by fan vote. All right. And Paulo Picasso versus Yo 2 Times, a battle that was called the Battle of the Season. 18 votes. A lot of recency in this. Individuals remember it. It actually ended 2025. It's interesting that battle was called, and Pablo mentioned this. It's interesting that battle was called one of the battles of the season, if not the battle of that season. And it's a mid-tier battle with 56%. But it should be noted that the next category it has is 22% for legend tier. So it kind of shows that either this is considered legend tier or mid-tier battle. And there's a lot that can go to this for fan vote. Oh no, we're going to discuss all these battles by submission vote as we had. You know? So chat. So Jason M remembers. All I remember from that battle was sloppy rounds from both. Which battle, Jason M? Just to be official. Which battle? And so someone from IG said, Pablo versus Innovate Loso. Excellent. Okay. So Jason M says all I remember from that battle was sloppy rounds from both. This is why we have a separate submission award, right there. And it could be argued that, well, wow, the submission award may mean more to the fan vote. It depends. At any rate, that's a submission. So Jason M, which tier would Loso versus Innovate be from that perspective then? If all that's remembered is sloppy rounds from both, which would that be? And also Jason M, and also anyone else in the chat, you're more than welcome. What else is like what tier is Pablo versus Yo 2 times? Mid. Okay, so Jason, so he already voted. He voted mid. Okay, so mid tier battle. Salute to that. So Jason M seems to have a criteria, and Jason M, if it ain't respected, correct it. Jason M seems to have a criteria based off of either memorable moments or skill and cleanness of the battle. That's what Jason M seems to be kind of trending to. And that's no problem with that. That's fire. That actually is a pretty fair way to judge a tier of a battle. Salute to that. So Jason M voted mid. So Jason M has a submission and he voted. So he's identified himself as someone that voted in the fan vote. Appreciate that. Salute. Okay. So Jason M says that, yeah, that's correct. So someone like Jason M is going by moments, cleanness of battles. That means no stumbles, no chokes, all that. And by skill, bars, performance, etc. Salute to that. Perfect. That's what we want. All right. So Jason M, what tier would you have Paulo Picasso versus Yo 2 times? Legend, top, mid, or trash? Legend, top, mid, or trash. So while Jason M does that and goes to that deliberation. Yeah, all these are submissions. All right. Oh, apologies. Let's get that back. Oh, we have a submission for legend tier. That kind of holds up, doesn't it? Because you know what? Just let's do it like this. So again, Jason M, official submission. Pablo versus Yo-Yo is legend tier. Yeah. And here's why that kind of holds up. How can you have a battle of a whole season not be a legend or top tier? Especially considering that both these guys, no chokes, no stumbles, bar. I mean, it could be argued that that performance from both of them was two of the best we've seen. Not just from Yo 2 times and Pablo, which of course, definitely, but also of a lot of virtual battle rappers. You put that battle rap, you put that against some of these legendary battles, we may have to talk about it. We may have to do that in a couple of lives. We're brainstorming. We're letting it slow boil. But we have a submission, official submission from Jason M. Salute to Jason M. Pablo, Yo-Yo, legend. You see it. So even though that may be controversial, the more we ask this question, if that submission goes crazy for Pablo, Yo 2 times to be a legend tier, they'll get a legend tier award, even though they got a low response for legend tier on the fan vote. Let the drama begin. Oh well. Next question. Okay, so that's yeah, and of course, as we go, we're going to be putting more questions up there. Keep in mind, we're going to be doing battles all around. Smoke where there's smoke, there's fire. Those battles are going to be coming up. TM, the battles they had over there, those battles are going to be coming up. This is virtual era series, all around virtual. Let's put it out there. All right. So based off of fan vote. Here is the award. Congratulations. This is official. Congratulations to Virtual Era Battle Legend Tier for 2026 Virtual Battle Rap Awards, Harlem Legend versus Reaper Rail by fan vote. It got it. And honestly, it was pretty overwhelming. You saw the fan vote. As we do a submission vote, so far the submissions are looking good for this to be a legend tier by submission. This could be a combination winner for legend tier battle for Harlem Legend and Reaper Rail. Salute to that. The next award that was given, It is by fan vote. Now, submission vote may not get it for a submission vote, but a legend tier battle by fan vote is Loso versus Innovate. Congratulations to Loso and Innovate. You did get a legend tier virtual era battle award. Now, for those that say, salute to Rap Ref, salute to a lot of others. So that concludes our awards, right? All right. So for those that say, Rock, why are you still even dealing with virtual battle rap? What's the big deal about virtual battle rap? Why even do this? Simple, because there's a history here. And it's important to quantify and qualify this history. Virtual battle rap does have a very rich history. Honestly, it saved a whole era for battle rap. No, don't forget, during the pandemic, blah, blah, pandemic. Yeah, if not for virtual battle rap, what battle rap would you have seen? On what quality level during the pandemic? Then the pandemic ended, virtual battle rap took just like anything else. Just like Grind Time had its run. URL's about to end its run soon, obviously. You can tell. But just keep this in mind. That's why we're doing this. So again, for Virtual Battle Rap Awards, and after this, we're going to call it a night. Congratulations to legendary Virtual Battle Rap Award winners, Loso and Innovate, for their battle. Congratulations to Harlem Legend versus Reaper Rail for their battle. Congratulations. Also, congratulations to top tier virtual era battle award winner Rio Nkosi versus Innovate. So that's 2 awards for Innovate. There's 2 awards for Innovate ever. He has a top tier battle and he has a legend tier battle by fan vote. Okay. And also congratulations to Clip Corleone versus QP by fan vote for top tier battle. And now, don't forget, there's going to be other virtual era battle awards. There will be, like, who's the greatest performer? Who had the biggest body? We're going to get into that. But right now, we're gonna get these battles in here. We're gonna get these battles in here. So first of all, show notes. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. And of course, what'll be said. There we go. All right. Show notes. As you know, we go live. We go live once a week. We're busy. We're on the road. We're on the road to Ohio. We got business down there. Salute to Miami, Ohio. We'll be down there. We're going to be down there Friday night. All right. So if you want more information about that, you can contact Rock at Boss EG. Let's show it. There you go. You see it at the bottom right there, at the bottom of the screen on your left-hand corner. Of course, if you wish to, you're more than welcome to subscribe to the channel, share the channel. You can Cash App the Rock Files at $ Boss ENT Group. You're more than welcome to do so. We don't push that. We don't push that. That's something if you choose to do, you can. If not, no problem. You're more than welcome to watch the content. Also, if you want to contact the Rock Files, contact the Rock Files at IG at Boss EG Detroit. IG at Boss EG Detroit. It is right down there. It's right down there on the bottom right-hand corner. And yes, you can contact, and so many of you have done, it's not a problem. It's cool. Facebook, Rock and Roll, Boss Entertainment Group Detroit, in the parentheses. You can't miss it. You'll see the logo right there. Simple as that. So we will go live again next week. We got to prep for our business. There's been a lot of talk about a lot of individuals are like leaving virtual battle rap, and honestly, not mad at it. We're still going to do the history, but as you see, we're also going to be doing, we're going to be doing actually what we did before, covering virtual battle rap topics and all this stuff. We did not do the social media scroll tonight. Because it's almost 2 a.m. We got to go. We will do. We're going to start. We're going to start with social media scroll next week. Maybe we could try to sneak in just a social media scroll tomorrow night. We'll see. Not sure. However, that's the way these shows will go. Rock Talk episode 2 is what you have seen now. Appreciate everybody. Salute to Jason M. Jason M, much respect. Jason M, much respect to all the contributions. Much respect to all the submissions and all the input. It helps out. It helps out a whole lot. Much respect to Maze. Actually, much respect to Bruce Leaf. Be sure to subscribe to Jason M. Be sure to subscribe to Bruce Leaf. Much respect. Much respect. And salute to Maze. There you go. Salute to Maze. Salute to Maze. Much respect. Much respect. All right, everybody. Look. Choose peace, man. Choose peace. You know, as simple as that. It doesn't matter what individuals think of you personally. Consecrate and separate from that. Who cares? This is the internet, dog. You know, nothing should stop anybody from staying in the path that they're going to stay in. Not everybody's going to agree with you. Focus on those who do agree. We'll leave you with that. And of course, protect your peace, protect your foundation, protect your sanity, stay safe, stay strong, stay sane. R.I.P. Damon Wilson. Hollywood is a joke, but above all else, all praise to the Almighty Yah, the Almighty Yahuwah, the Almighty Yahweh. And of course, as we usually say right about now, rock on, rock out!
Where you at, Rock? Where you at, Rock? Where you at, Rock?
10 rock and roll, bro.
Welcome to the Rock Files. Are the Rock Files. Yeah. Live and locked. This is how we rock. Live and locked. Welcome to the Rock. DJ say. Live and locked. Live is how we rock. Oh. This is how we rock. The Rock. The Rock Files. Live and locked. Welcome to the Rock.